There can be like a body of some sort. Let's say like want to build a person. It holds information that like different information that can be grouped together. So let's say you want to make a structure for let's go with student. So we'll go with student has a name. They have an age. Um, the grade level that they're currently in, and then the year that they're currently attending school. And then for structure, once you define it, after this last braces, you want to put a semicolon. So here in the main function, we're gonna put a structure variable. So that will be done output s. So student s, and so now we're gonna put s dot, and this dot helps me access the information that is written up here. So if I put s dot name, and let's go with I'll just go with my name, and s dot let's go next is age, so that's an integer. So since this is a string, it has to have quotations. Age is an integer, so it just has to be a number. Next we'll go s dot grade, which is let's go with sophomore. And then next we have year. So 2020. Like again, this dot, it's a dot operator, so that's so this lets me access the name up here, and the age, grade, and the year. These right here, these are called member fields. Uh, that's what these are. So the way this would work is, so this is, let's say this is a student profile. So this is the name. So what will go there is the name that we put from s.name. And then the age. Next is grade. Lastly is the year. So if we run this, so here we go. This would be like our student profile. So here we have the name that we put up here, the age, the grade, the year. So yeah, that's a example of a structure. Next is sorting. Selection sorting to be exact. So selection sorting is kind of when you have an array and you're comparing two you're constantly you're comparing values one by one, starting from the left, and arranging them in order, more than likely from least to greatest. So you would start off at index 0, and from index 0 compare the value inside of that index to the value in index 1, and then compare those and see if they would need to be swapped, and then you would keep going down the list of the array until the list is sorted from least to greatest. So an example of that would be, so let's say you have an integer array. Let's just say it had just random numbers, so 10, 7, 4, 3, or 2, and 3. So this is just 5 random numbers that I came up with. So here we're going to have a for loop, and for loops start off with an initialization stage. So we're going to have integer I is equal to 0. We're going to have a semicolon. We're going to have I, and then it's less than. And so since we have 5 numbers that we're going to be looking at, you want to put one less than the numbers that are inside of the array. So here we have 5. So you can just put 5 minus 1, or you can just put 4. And then we're going to have I++ to update it. So within this for loop, we're going to have another integer. We're going to call that index. It's going to be equal to I. And we're going to have another for loop. So we'll have a different integer. J++, we're going to update it. So inside this for loop, we're going to have an if, and okay, so let's run this. Oh, sorry. So cout. Hmm. Okay, so don't know why that didn't work. Um, so okay, as you can see, the numbers are um, they're aligned correctly. I guess a better way to put this would be space. Okay. Oh, wait, sorry. There you go. Okay, there. So as you can see, the array starts off as 9, 7, 4, 2, and 3, and then here it gets fixed to 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9. So how this works is you have your array, and then you have integer I is 0, um, and index is at I. So integer index is equal to I. So index is 0, and you have another for loop which has integer j, and j is equal to I plus 1. So since I is 0, because of this for loop, j is it's 0 plus 1, so j is 1, and 1 is less than 5, which is true. So here, then we have inside of this for loop, we have an if statement. So if, and then array j. So since j is 1, um, is array j is less than array at index. So here, since j is 1, because of this right here, we're comparing index 1 to since index is I, which is 0, we're comparing the array at index 1 to the array at index 0, and if it's less than, then the index is equal to j. So for example, here we have if uh, not here we have 9. So here and that's at index 0, and 7 is at index 1. So at index 1 is 7, and here we have 9. So here we have 7 is less than 9, which is true. So now the uh, index 0 is equal to j. So now 0 is 1, since j is 1, and then this gets repeated. So then it just keeps comparing the values with the next ones. So this j gets updated to so now these numbers switch, and then it gets j is updated to index 2. So then we compare so then we just keep comparing the next values until it is sorted from least to greatest. And that